Sincero Consulting presents your GMP Minute by Kevin Wall. I will give you the takeaway in the first sentence. You can't proceduralize wisdom. Making wise decisions is what you need most from your supplier. For the past 5 years, I've been working with virtual pharmaceutical development and manufacturing companies. The experience has been supplier management on steroids. While I thought I understood supplier management working for big pharma, the last 5 years have crystallized my thinking on how to conduct supplier risk assessments. When you work for virtual companies, you cannot overcome bad performance at the CMO. It will kill your business. Of the 3 big variables of people, performance, and process, people are by far the most important. If you want to measure your risk with a given supplier, understand the competence of the people who work at the firm. My first experience in supplier management was conducting contract manufacturing, CMO, quality audits for Johnson & Johnson. As any QA professional, I would look at the performance of the organization evidenced in their records and make judgments on their quality management system, QMS. As I grew in my career, I realized the procedures were the least important variable in the equation with respect to predicting good performance. I found companies with good procedures and bad performance, and companies with bad procedures and good performance. I used the analogy of a race car. You can give me the finest race car with the best instruction manual, and I will still crash going into the first turn. Owning a race car does not make you an expert driver. Companies can hire consultants to implement a compliant QMS, but that does not mean the company will be compliant, document good decisions, or be low risk. I now use the performance of the company as demonstrated by their quality records to assess the competence of the organization that produced them. From a risk perspective, the procedures are incidental and the problems they may have can be easily corrected. However, you cannot write a procedure so well that a firm will make and document wise decisions. When assessing the competence of an organization, I look for 3 things. Low-risk CMOs make wise risk-based decisions. Life is one big word problem. I used to teach chemistry at the university level. My favorite way to measure how well the students understood the concepts was to give them word problems. They had to understand what was needed, analyze what was provided, discard the irrelevant, appropriately apply the right equation, calculate the correct result, and document it. The same is true in the factory. I want to understand the firm can handle real-life situations and solve problems in a scientific and risk-based way. I assess how well they gather and analyze data and how they assess the risk to mitigate it. Do they verify their assumptions and root causes? Do they know they have been effective? If you want to lower your supply chain risk, do business with people who understand how to solve problems. Low-risk CMOs are learning organizations. Wisdom comes from learning through experience. Solving the problem and implementing the solution is not the end. The firm must adequately document the entire problem-solving process. One might say that is the obvious CGMP thing to do, and you would be right. However, it is not the most important reason. The firm must institutionalize the learning. They just spent time and money learning something new about their process. The firms should have a process to ensure future employees learn from that experience. There is a big difference between having 10 years of experience and 1 year of experience 10 times. Low-risk CMOs fully understand their processes. It may seem obvious that CMOs would understand their QMS, their equipment, and their manufacturing processes. Understanding their own processes is so fundamental that people often assume it is a given. Let me tell you now, it is not. On more occasions than I would like to count, I had to walk a firm through their own manufacturing equipment and process to help them solve a problem. That situation should never happen. You hire expertise so they can do things you cannot. For example, one time our son had a severe asthma attack while we were traveling. We went to the emergency room. The ER doctor did not know what to do and asked my wife. She told him to do XYZ, and they should find a doctor who knew about asthma. I should never know more about troubleshooting a process than the CMO. For details on using compliance audits to assess organizational risk, see my video series on Supplier Risk Management, How to Define Your System. Subscribe to our channel so you do not miss a GMP Minute.